If you could choose to be any creature in the animal kingdom, I bet you would have chosen to be something big and deadly. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna dominate every opponent that challenges you in a vicious fight. If you don't have the intelligence, you might even lose to a tiny little chicken. Watch this video till the end and you'll be shocked. We all know that the lion is the king of the jungle, but it can't win every battle. This time, the formidable lion is brutally ravaged by his own prey. And when this buffalo was in deep trouble, its loyal friends quickly came to the rescue and threw one of the lions up towards the sky. Of all the creatures I don't want to run into in the wild, the Komodo dragon is definitely on the top of that list. An attack from a Komodo dragon can be fatal, even to humans, and despite having a weak bite strength, their curved and sharp teeth combined with sturdy claws make them a frightening opponent against any other animal in the jungle. And if you don't believe me yet, take a look at how this gigantic Komodo dragon swallows a deer in one bite. This is proof that Komodo dragons are the most sadistic reptiles, and if that didn't terrify you enough, you should know that Komodo dragons are also super fast, running up to 13 miles per hour. And here, a crocodile tries to take down a lion, but the lion has got some incredible reflexes. Perhaps the crocodile wouldn't have won over a lion, but they can definitely take down a wildebeest without problem. With their large and dangerous bodies, rhinos are extremely feared in the animal kingdom, but next to an African elephant, they look tiny. So when this rhino tried to strike a clever elephant with his horn, the elephant dodged it with ease and went in for the attack. This is how it looks when they hunt giraffes together. The mother tried to defend its calf, but unfortunately had to give up and retreat from the fierce battle. When a hungry snake had coiled itself around a baby bunny, its brave mother rushed to its rescue and fiercely fought off the vicious enemy.
Fight! Fight that snake! Yeah! Snake వచ్చింది అది
ఆసిగో snake చూద్దాం. Snake
Kill that snake!
Cheetahs love to hunt gazelles, but this time they messed with a wrong opponent, and the prey became the predator by taking it down with its deadly horns. Here's why you should never steal a banana out of a gorilla's mouth. Who do you think would win in a cruel fight between a courageous lion and a monstrous crocodile? In this clip, these deadly animals face off in a brutal fight, but the crocodile is outnumbered and is forced to retreat. Imagine having a calm and nice breakfast at your hotel in Africa when suddenly two angry hippos come out of nowhere and start a fight at the buffet. That's right, this actually happened. Hippos are very aggressive creatures and the deadliest land mammals on the planet. So when these ferocious beasts lock jaws with one another just a few feet away from the safari guests, I don't know if they were happy or absolutely terrified. And you might wonder why this hippo is spraying its tongue? Well, that's not just a coincidence. Hippos actually do this as a way of marking their territory. Well, after a fright like that, I think these people's breakfast came out earlier than expected. You definitely don't want to mess with a cheetah, and this is the reason why. Cheetahs are the fastest animals in the world, reaching speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour, but they're not only fast, they also have amazing acceleration, which means that these incredible animals can catch up to any animal in the world, including this poor deer who stood no chance. So if you ever, for some reason, stumble upon a cheetah, make sure you find yourself a very good place to hide, because there is no point in running. This poor pelican tries to eat a capybara but fails miserably.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never.
Usually, lions need to hunt together with their pride in order to take down a massive animal like a giraffe. But this cocky lion decided to do it all by himself. When these hungry lions tried to snatch a baby, the full force of the buffalo herd turned around to save it from the vicious attack. We humans are very lucky that when we see a tiger, it's usually through bulletproof glass. But when other animals in the wild see a tiger, it's usually time to run as fast as possible. Although for some reason, this cow didn't get the memo and ran headfirst towards the hungry tiger.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now.
This jaguar felt threatened by a lion and decided to mark its territory in a very odd way.
Oh my gosh, thank you, just being right in the face. Vinta, move. Oh my gosh.
Giant otters are very territorial creatures, so when this curious jaguar encroached on their space, the romp of giant otters were not gonna let it slide. Although sometimes these otters are not paying attention, resulting in a sneaky ambush. But as it turns out, you really don't want to mess with an otter because they will fight back hard. Ostriches are incredibly fast. Their long, powerful, and muscular legs are designed for running and help them reach speeds of up to 90 kilometers per hour. They're almost as fast as cheetahs, the fastest animal in the world. But unfortunately, this ostrich wasn't quick enough. This lion somehow got itself in a tricky situation, trapped on a rock in the middle of a river and surrounded by a bunch of aggressive territorial hippos. And well, it's not hard to guess what happened next. Cows aren't really known to be able to fight like kung fu masters, but you'd think that they would be able to beat a tiny little duck, but it appears that this particular duck is way too powerful. One brave cow tries to headbutt it, but the duck is just way too strong. Then another cow tries to attack, but quickly retreats to go look for a hospital.
What do you want, son? If you want some, I'll give it you.
This fearless cat chases a black bear out of its backyard. These king penguins were having a morning swim at the wrong beach and got chased away by a furious and gigantic sea lion. Elephants can be grumpy at the best of times, and these hippos soon learned that no visitors were welcomed on his turf. I didn't know iguanas were this easily scared, but maybe it's because it's being attacked by an army of venomous snakes? They're slithering at a shocking pace to catch up with a terrified iguana who's running for its life. If you aren't already scared of snakes, I bet you are now. This rhino refused to leave the watering hole, which was claimed by a bloat of territorial hippos. At first they had patience and gave him a chance to depart, but sooner than later the patience ran out and a brutal battle commenced. These owls were just having a rest when suddenly a wild kestrel attacked their nest. The attacker went from trying to rob the place to contemplating its recent life choices. This tiger in India is known as the Lady of the Lakes, and she's a specialist in killing huge Indian crocodiles. Watch how this fascinating animal takes down its victim by swiveling it around, twisting and executing it by a biting grip on the back of the neck. And for the moment we've all been waiting for, who do you think would win in a Mortal Kombat? A lion or a tiger? As we all know, the lion enjoys the title of the undisputed king of the jungle, so the answer should be obvious, right? That lions are the kings, so they should win. Well, not really. A Bengal tiger actually has a much bigger chance to beat an African lion. Tigers are slightly faster, more ferocious, and more agile. A tiger is also 5% taller and 8% heavier than a lion. But as you might have learned by watching this video here on Novella, size isn't the most important trait in the animal kingdom. That is why this video is so fascinating to watch, as the two biggest cats can be seen engaging in an intense do-or-die battle. If you could be any animal in the jungle, which one would you choose and why? Make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. Also, leave a like on the video and subscribe to Novella with notifications turned on, or else one of these crazy animals will mess with you now. A tiny dog quickly regretted messing with a tegu lizard when it suddenly had enough of its annoying barking and decided to teach it a lesson the hard way. Elephants know that they are the absolute strongest when they stick together, so when two crocodiles were threatening some of these elephants, the whole herd decided to charge at the dangerous enemies together to scare them away.
Oh no! Oh! The little one got some balls.
This dog quickly regrets messing with an impatient donkey. Lions usually know which animals they can hunt and win against in a fight, but this lion got a little too confident when it tried to attack a big giraffe. This lion cub was so eager to bite into the pride's meal that it got stuck in a sticky situation, to say the least. Luckily, the other lions ate through the buffalo's stomach and were eventually able to set the poor cub free. This lion, who was craving some honey, quickly regretted its choice when it got attacked by a swarm of vicious bees.
Dude, I think you knocked me out.
When a grizzly bear was feeding on its prey, a pack of hungry wolves surrounded the animal and tried to steal it, but the bear refused to hand over his food, for which he had fought so bravely, and showed the wolf pack who's boss. This prairie falcon uses its hard-hitting hunting tactic to take out a clueless drake mallard with a high-speed headshot. He didn't even give him time to duck. This mountain lion probably confused itself with a regular lion when it tried to hunt a much bigger alpaca, who bravely fought off the desperate animal. There is a huge difference in size between a cow and a goat, so when these animals charge towards each other after a long standoff, you will definitely be surprised by the one left standing. A hungry leopard stalks a warthog right before snatching its baby, but what the leopard didn't know was that it messed with the wrong mother who wasn't going to give up easily on its child. This cow hit his head so hard that he switched personalities. A clueless raccoon accidentally got in the wrong hood and had to pay the consequences, as these chimpanzees were not too happy about having an intruder. These sharks work together to mug the crocodiles and steal their food, but one of the sharks receives instant karma too. Apparently pigs can fly. Just check out this wild boar that shows that nothing is impossible. A fisherman caught an electric eel, but as he's pulling it in, an alligator decided he wanted a piece of the action too and got himself a little bit more than a bite. Up to 860 volts of electricity suddenly flowed through the alligator's body, and the eel's unusual defense mechanism completely obliterates the animal. At about 2 years of age, male lions reach maturity and often begin picking fights with their father. Eventually, the father grows tired of having his authority questioned and forces the younger males out of their territory. In this clip, you can see this phenomenon occur as a father and his son savagely fight for dominance. This alligator definitely messed with the wrong guy.
Hey, get off him! Hey! Mom! You're gonna break his neck, man! Freaking stuff! You're gonna break your brother's neck! Mom!
A baffled cat didn't expect to be completely outsmarted by a careless bird. This baboon should probably figure out a better escape plan next time it gets hunted by a pride of hungry lions. This praying mantis was lucky that the massive tarantula spider wasn't in the mood for fighting, as it would have easily destroyed the annoying creature. An impala who was chased by a pack of wild dogs later got stuck on a small island in the middle of a watering hole, as it then became the target of a bunch of hungry crocodiles. In an attempt to escape, the impala lunges itself into the water, with a crocodile getting closer and closer. But all of a sudden, a heroic hippo appears out of nowhere, attacking the predator and saving the poor antelope.
Coming in.
In the animal kingdom, most animals are aware of who they can beat in a fight for survival and who they should avoid at all costs. But sometimes animals simply mess with the wrong opponent and have to suffer the consequences. Watch this video till the end and you'll be shocked. A curious dog learned a hard lesson the hard way when meeting an electric eel, only to get violently zapped and whimper away in agony. When a rude and rowdy elephant kicked a resting buffalo in the face, the elephant quickly regretted its foolish decision when the buffalo retaliated by poking him right in the rear with its horn. Wrong place at the wrong time for this defenseless baby chick that gets snapped up and eaten by a hungry horse like a tasty snack. This is why you should never turn your back on a tiger. When a mom and baby rhino had an altercation with 3 elephants at a watering hole, the elephants displayed that they are the most intelligent by using inanimate objects as weapons to scare them away. Not even a fence can stop these sheep from fighting. This dog's bark is definitely worse than its bite, as it retreats like a coward after messing with the massive iguana. When a group of predatory birds tried to snatch one of this leopard's cubs, the mother had to teach them a hard lesson. Did this bird just travel through time? I think this dog got what he deserved. A group of wild dogs were hanging out at a watering hole when they were suddenly joined by a huge elephant who wanted the place for himself. Watch how he tries to drive the little annoying creatures off his lawn by kicking dirt at them, chasing them around, and showing them who's boss. A mountain lion decided to attack a lone baby bear instead of its big mother, but had an embarrassing defeat as the little bear cub bravely fought it off. The animals in the jungle have many differences, but they all share one common enemy, the lion. So when this buffalo was being attacked by the hungry predator, a heroic elephant stepped in to save its life. When a black bear wandered into the wrong territory, a very unusual fight occurred as a male lion decided to drive the animal away from its land. When a male lion attacked a leopard, the female lion surprisingly chose to defend the defenseless animal. Who do you think would win in a fight between a crab and a scorpion? Well, in this epic underwater battle, the crab completely destroyed its opponent. Strength and size aren't always the most important traits to have in nature. Sometimes all you need is confidence to beat the bigger opponent, which this fearless goat proved when it took on several rhinos in a fight and won. African wild dogs may not be that dangerous when they are alone, but when these animals fight together, they are some of the absolute scariest creatures of the savannah. So when a pack of vicious wild dogs attacked this lioness, it knew it was in deep trouble. When a massive eagle decided that this goat would become its delicious dinner, the poor animal stood no chance and was swept. When a male lion attacked a leopard, the female lion surprisingly chose to defend the defenseless animal. Who do you think would win in a fight between a crab and a scorpion? Well, in this epic underwater battle, the crab completely destroyed its opponent. Strength and size aren't always the most important traits to have in nature. Sometimes all you need is confidence to beat the bigger opponent, which this fearless goat proved when it took on several rhinos in a fight and won. African wild dogs may not be that dangerous when they are alone, but when these animals fight together, they are some of the absolute scariest creatures of the savannah. So when a pack of vicious wild dogs attacked this lioness, it knew it was in deep trouble. When a massive eagle decided that this goat would become its delicious dinner, the poor animal stood no chance and was swept away to be never seen again. An overconfident buffalo thought it could beat a rhino in a fight, but underestimated its opponent and suffered the brutal consequences. This bear cub is using world-class wrestling to take down a dog bigger than himself.
Watch out, watch out, watch out!
Imagine when that bear grows up, he's definitely gonna be the king of the forest. When a leopard and a hyena were fighting over who would get the prey for dinner, the prey made an Oscar-worthy performance in order to escape.